Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Today we have a special guest, Mauricio Mejia. He's an entrepreneur from Silicon Valley. He's also chairman with involved recently, big news with the
Yeah,
Chamber of
no.
Commerce. And we're going to talk about very exciting today about a deal. So, Mauricio, how are you today?
Yeah. Good, good. Thank you. I'm excited. It's a busy day. There's a lot happening here in the United States. If people don't know where Silicon Valley is, it's in California. It's the tech capital of the world. We're here in San Jose, and the world just seems like it's crazy right now. But we got to keep going forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't think that will not stop people like us from doing anything. You know, in the end, it's the mindset, and we don't bother about politics or anything like that. So, Mauricio, first of all, thank you very much for your time coming into to the program today. And for the people who don't know you, would you describe who is Mauricio Mejia?
Um, So Mauricio, well, that we're gonna in a short version, it's
Sure.
I'm a global serial entrepreneur from Silicon Valley. I'm rooted here in Silicon Valley, but I'm touching other parts of the world, specifically Central America, South America, Mexico, and looking forward to touching Europe, Spain, Dubai, different parts of the world, and just doing business on a global level, especially in the type of business that I'm involved in, which is real estate development,
Okay.
and other types of businesses that I have.
Very nice journey. So, from all this, how did you got here? I mean, how it all started, to get into this, there's a story. And usually people really have like very interesting stories, like yourself. Was it something from childhood that you already thought and, being entrepreneur and, grow the sectors you're in, or this is just afterwards?
No, no, no. I must be a prodigy or something. I don't know. I started my entrepreneurial journey at the age of 15 years old.
Okay.
And I grew up in Southern California in Los Angeles. I grew up with a single mom and a younger sister. And it just, my mom, and I give credit to my mother. My success is dedicated to her. I would not be where I'm at if I didn't have her drive and her resilience. And my mom provided what she could, which was a roof over our head and food on the table, which were the necessities. The wants were actually, those were pluses. But I got tired of hearing no,
Yeah.
that I couldn't get the cool shoes or the cool clothes,
Yeah.
and it wasn't because I wanted it. I wanted it, but because it was, growing up here in the United States. I think growing up, period, as a child,
Yeah.
kids can be brutal, and so I was tired of being picked on for not having the cool shoes
Yeah.
or the cool clothes, and so I wanted more, and that's what kind of
And,
triggered
and,
me
and this
to.
was back in the 90s, already in the 2000s.
No, this was early. Oh, thank you. I looked that young, huh?
Okay.
This was in the mid '80s, early
Okay.
'90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, growing up here, it was tough. So, I took it upon myself one day to say, enough was enough, and I wanted to figure it out. And I started, in the neighborhood washing cars, and the trick was that I would tell the person, like, let me wash your car, and if you like it,
Yeah.
it's $20. And if you don't like it, you don't have to pay me. But if you like it, it's $20. And I would pick on the trucks because the trucks were bigger.
Right.
And as I started to do that, I started to see that I had a little system going on, and that's where my mind started to think numbers, efficient time and
Yeah.
money, time and money, time and
Yeah.
money, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's just how it started. And then my journey, I got exposed to nightlife at a very young age,
Sure.
and I fell in love with nightlife. Nightlife and music were a big part of Los Angeles. I mean, we're in Los Angeles. You're in the capital, the Hollywood
Yeah.
capital of the world.
Yeah.
Um, So I wanted to be a star in my own version, but I wanted to be where the stars come to, So I got into the nightclub business at a very young age and started promoting. And at a very young age, started to meet a lot of celebrities and just started to grow and develop in that industry. And fast forward, I ended up moving to San Francisco, to the Bay Area in 1994. And I got my break here within the first 6 months of living here. I got my break in the nightlife industry, and the rest was history. I dominated the entertainment industry for a very long time. And my first big pinnacle that I hit was I made my first multi-million-dollar deal at the age of 25.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not for everyone. Not everyone can say at 25 they need multi-million-dollar deals. So congratulations for that.
Yeah, no, thank you. And that, I didn't just do it by myself. I had the right people around me. I had good mentors around me. I was exposed. I don't want to say it was luck, but it was luck because I also worked my butt off. I worked very hard to get to where I wanted to be, and I had a big dream. So I was never afraid.
Yeah, because nightlife can be dodgy. You can go one side or the other. You never know, because it's that part of kind of thing, I used to say, that can take you to both sides. So that's when it is very relevant. The people who are around you, especially mentors and friends. Being good friends is very, very important. To get into that good goal, let's just say, on the right track.
No, correct. I completely agree. And yeah, nightlife can be very fun, but it can also be very dark. And for me, I fell in love with the business side of it all, and that's where I took off. I really just shined because I wanted to do things at the very highest level, and then I got to meet a lot of great people in that industry and in the Bay Area too. So again, being in the Bay Area, which I shared, Silicon Valley is the global capital of the world for technology. I mean, this is the headquarters to Facebook, Google, Microsoft, every Instagram, LinkedIn, every single tech company.
Everyone is there.
Everybody's here. HP, Apple. I mean, everybody's here. So I get to meet a lot of great people. And imagine in the early 2000s when, I mean, the world was just really, technology was exploding.
Yeah.
So again, I'm at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, and I'm here now. So that's what's gotten me to where I'm at today.
That's very, very interesting journey. Yeah, I mean, there was a big boom. I remember. I mean, especially that transition between the 90s and the 2000s. It was really a huge thing in technology. There was, the microprocessors were coming up, the new generation of PCs, comparing with the other ones from the 80s. All major branding. And of course, social media. I mean, for example, LinkedIn started a bit later. It was 2006 when it started. But yeah, I mean, it was really that stage until 2012. I would say that was really a gigantic step comparing what was in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. We started seeing the evolution and revolution of technology in the early 2000s, but I mean, the mindset was so advanced in the early 2000s that there was a lot of companies that failed because they were too ahead of their times. We had a company called Webvan. It was one of the first companies that wanted to do food delivery to online food delivery to people, and then one of the largest busts in tech companies. And then now you have Safeway, you have all these other companies, Amazon, and all these companies delivering food and products. And so they paved the way for these companies to where they're at today. Social media, the first social media company that we were a part of, I mean, it was American Online, AOL, right? That was our messaging. And then MySpace came on, and then from MySpace we graduated to Facebook, and then all these other social media platforms. And the world has just evolved at a very fast pace.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, and I think that that transition, not all companies were ready for it because it was really a big move, especially in the technology part. For example, the companies related in logistics or the companies related in food chain, it was very big transition. We're talking about that they were working with paperwork, and then suddenly everything is electronic. So I mean, it
Right.
was really a big step in a way. So, Mauricio, and from all this, then you got involved in real estate and then many other endeavors. So, tell us a bit about that.
Well, it hasn't always been fun and celebratory. It's been life has been definitely a journey with ups and downs.
Sure.
So I got into the nightlife industry at a very young age, dominated the industry for 25 years. In 2008, when the world turned upside down, we had the stock market and the housing market here in the United States
Yeah.
crash. That was really the first time that I've ever experienced in my adult life pressure. I was not prepared for that kind of shift at
Yeah.
such a at such a instant. It was just instantaneously. I mean, it was, people knew it was coming. They just didn't know when it was gonna hit. So in 2008, when the world shifted, it I'm at the peak of my business. Like I mentioned earlier, I made my first multi-million-dollar deal at 25,
Yeah.
28, multi-millionaire. I buy my first Ferrari, a 360 Spider. I'm in love, I'm living the best life that I can, and I'm thinking that it's forever because that's all I knew. I didn't know failure other than the failures or the things,
Yeah.
the challenges that I had experienced in my life only made me better to what I did in my industry. But I never knew what global impact would have
Economy.
in me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And when the global economy it hit everyone's pocket.
Yeah.
And for the first time in 2008, when the world went upside down, I started to feel it and see it because the cost of goods stays here and your income is here. But as your income starts to drop,
Yeah.
and you get to the point where you're equal, you're fine until you get below your cost of goods, your expenses. So when you get behind, imagine how much more effort you're trying to get to try to
Yeah.
catch up, and now it becomes a downward spiral, or down. The snowball starts going down, and then it becomes a snowball effect. So
I actually remembered when it happened. I was at that moment in Spain working in a telecom operator. And I was actually going to withdraw money, and all banks were closed for 1 week, and you couldn't even withdraw money on the ATMs. I was like, "Are you serious right now?" It was like, yeah, I never forgot it because it was. I mean, for some countries, maybe it was less rush, but I mean, definitely in Spain, it was really felt very harshly.
yeah, no, the world
Because I
felt
don't
it,
know.
and so for me, at a young age too, I started learning real estate development, and commercial real estate. I started learning commercial construction, and my dreams as a child is always I wanted to be a billionaire, and so my thinking has always been different. I always compare my mind to like the movie Oppenheimer, when they
Right.
talk about quantum physics and the way that the mind explodes. I always feel that my mind is explosive because I'm always thinking. And all it takes is one deal to take you to that next level. So
Right.
today I could be negative, and tomorrow I could be billionaire. It's not because it happened overnight. It's because everything that I've been working on has transpired to get me to where I want to be. So because of that mindset, I've just never been afraid of what comes. I just it doesn't it doesn't. I'm not afraid.
Yeah, yeah. In the end, when it happened once, of course, sometimes you're not ready, you're not prepared, but yeah, yeah. I mean, in the end, it's all about experience,
That's right. That's right.
and
It taught me
and
a, it taught me a lot.
never and never consider those type of situations as a failure. They're all
Right.
part of success. In the end, it's
That's
all
right.
experience that you gain.
Yes.
And with that, you know that was not the right path to get you where you wanted to. So you
Correct.
know you need to shift and continue moving on. You know, perseverance,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yes, and that's exactly what happened. I think that I was because I was not prepared. I didn't, and I had never experienced something like that. I didn't know any better, and so when 2008 happened, my business life started to spiral. And in 2009, I ended up losing my home. I was basically homeless for about 2 years, 2.5 years. Was not on the street homeless like that, but I had no headquarters. I
Right.
was couch surfing. I was
Right.
living with family. I was just jumping around. I was trying to figure out how to get my 2 feet on the ground. The interesting part is that I never shared that with anybody. So everyone always saw me as Mauricio, the successful businessman. And when I would ask for help, people would look at me like, "Huh? You're Mauricio Mejia?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, but I need help." And they're like, "No, you'll figure it out." And I'm over here drowning, asking for help. And and there was people that did understand, and that they did give me the helping hand.
Sure.
But that in itself was very difficult because people perception of who I am, and didn't understand what the reality was that I was going through. And at that point, those were also learning experiences of like, I never want to experience what it's like to be without a home.
Yeah.
I went from Ferrari to Ford Focus, and the joke behind that was, hey, it's still a pony. It's just a different pony. It's a different
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but it taught me a lot of
But
lessons.
Mauricio, I think those lessons teach us one very important thing. Who are the real people around us?
Yes.
What is the
Amen.
proper environment? Because
That's
a
right.
real friend will stay close to you no matter what, because it's you, not what you have, not what you can give, but it's really you, what you represent to your friend, and vice versa.
Absolutely. I can
And
count on
when
one. I
these
can
type
count
of
on one.
situations, happen, um, you really see who's in and who's out.
That's right.
I tell you from my experience too. I had a
Yeah.
similar, so that for me taught me a lot of things, and I guess that it's part of a lesson. It feels like God put us in one place, and then He decides, let's give you a lesson for you to learn, and move on. It feels like that. It's
That
yeah,
that sounds like a bad joke to me, but it is what it is, and I think what it does, it teaches us. Well, it makes us dig deep, and it makes us ask, how bad do we want it?
yeah,
How bad do you really want this, Mauricio? Because they always say, be careful what you wish for. I wanted to be a millionaire at a young age. I reached that goal at a young age, and I was not prepared for what was to come. And when I felt that downfall, I felt it, and it was very painful. Now, because I got the experience, and now I have the knowledge, and I have I know how to navigate to get there to that million again. I can get there a lot quicker. Well, in 2014, I launched 2 companies. Aside from running for city council for the city of San Jose,
okay,
one of the most important districts, the downtown district, I launched 2 companies. One was a staffing company, and another one was a media company called Latin Life. And and in 5 years, I made my first $100 million company. I built my first $100 million company, and my second company, my technology company, was going to be the billion-dollar unicorn out of Silicon Valley. There was 2 of us that were involved, and we were generating revenues. We were doing all the Latin media promotions for all the Latino artists across the United States.
sure,
We were working with all the big companies: Nederlander, Live Nation, AEG. I mean, Golden. Every single major promoter across the United States, they used our platform to promote their Latino concerts because we had figured the algorithm on how to market and target that specific audience.
Sure.
And in late 2019, that buzzword coronavirus started kind of buzzing. Nobody knew what coronavirus was, other than oh, it's the flu. It's another. They're relabeling it, and we don't want to go into that right now. But so nobody is thinking about that. I'm so excited about what's happening in 2020 that I do one of the largest New Year's parties in Silicon Valley, a black tie event. I mean, it's sold out. I mean, people were sick. It was crazy. I mean, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And in February, we had filed our SEC forms so that we can go public in June, July of 2020. 2020 was the billionaire year for me, where I was going to be in that billionaires club with my partners and everyone around us. Our whole team was going to rise to that top.
Sure.
And what happened here in California? Actually, this county, Santa Clara County, was the first county in the world identified the first coronavirus person. Was the first county in the United States and the world that did the shelter in place. Right. So everything started here, and then started triple, kind of moving along the way.
Yeah.
And the epicenter was here in California, in San Jose. I mean, it's crazy to think about that. And I realized that my dreams had just, by no cause of me.
Yeah.
But now, the global economy just blew it up. And ever since then, again, from 2020 to 2025 to today, I have been able to get to half of where I was at in a very short period of time, which is good, again, but it's because of the knowledge and the people that I surround myself. And really it's because I've learned to be very grateful and very humble. And I'm still learning. I'm a sponge right now. I'm a learning machine right now. All I want to do is just learn more and more.
It's I always say you never know everything, and it's all a learning process. Each day that passes, you learn a new thing. It can be small or big, but you always learn something new every day, and that's what makes the differentiality in people. I mean, for the ones who don't realize that, you won't reach the goal if you don't have those skills. It's very hard to get to billionaire or 100 million or millionaire. If
even a million.
That humility, that know-how to deal with people, which is most important in everything. Create that circle of trust and the perseverance. In the end, it's kind of a conjunction of those skills together that makes you what you are today, right? And all this, people need to understand it's all part of a journey in experience. Because people think, oh, life is full of roses. I can get 200 million followers in Instagram and start doing that, right? But what's on the backstage? What's on the back? I actually did some recordings previously for people to understand. There's a huge amount of work in the backstage, in the background.
People only see the front end right now, right? They don't see what it takes to do behind the scenes, and that's okay, because it's not made for everybody. And if everybody knew the secret sauce or whatever it might be, then we wouldn't be where I'm at or where anybody's at today. So I think that we all have our unique way of doing things. Along the way, I've published 3 books. My first book was called Smoke and Mirrors. I talk about my journey in the nightlife industry. It's more of a autobiography of myself. My second book, I'm good friends and a great mentor. By the way, today's his birthday. I have to give him a call. Stedman Graham, which is Oprah's other half. And he became a good friend. I was speaking with him, and his writer said, Mauricio, we got to put everything that you're talking about on a book. And I'm like, what are we talking about? And I created my second book, which is called Decide, Commit, Execute, which is more of a business mindset book. There's no, I'm not trying to sell a get rich quick gimmick. There's none of that. It's just people ask, how did you get to where you're at? Well, these are the principles of what I do.
Yeah.
And then recently, last year, I published my third book, which is called Assess, Address, Move On. And it's really a post-COVID book. It's kind of like, all right, guys, COVID is over. It's part of our, the pandemic is over. COVID is not over. COVID is the new flu. And basically, we need to assess the situation, address it, and let's move on, because you cannot get stuck in the past or in that situation and think that you're going to grow in the future. So we have to get beyond that already. So yeah, all three books are all available on Amazon too. And yeah, I just figured, hey, I want to share my experiences with people so that when they look at me, they can, I always tell people, if I could do it, you can do it too.
Yeah, I mean, I combine similarities because, for example, in my young life, I also worked in the nightlife, and I actually was head of security of one of the biggest nightclubs in Portugal back then while I was studying at the same time. And of course, you learn a lot. You learn a lot. You see what's really moving, because nightlife shows you everything. So you get to see everything, if you know what I'm talking about, right? So yeah,
I did it for 25 years. I have seen it all.
Absolutely.
And it's because people come to that environment to escape the reality, the world. We create the smoke and mirrors, the illusion. We create that story so that you can have fun and not worry about the outside world. And then when you're done, when you're leaving, then the reality hits, and you're like, oh my God, it's 7:00 in the morning. I'm just walking out of the nightclub. Like a vampire. You see the sun, and you're like, ah. But again, it's a lot of that. The people skills that I learned were through the nightlife. I can feel your energy. I can feel your vibe. I can tell if we're going to have a good time or a bad time.
Absolutely.
You can feel it in the air. And then, part of the trick is you get some alcohol in some people and they loosen up.
Yeah.
And then you become the master of ceremonies. You have to control the evening and stuff like that. But again, it comes with a lot of work. Just like in business, you got to learn to massage business deals.
I mean, because each person also can be out of control. Some people, don't have that kind of control, so you need to control them. Some people do know, but they are more serious. So in the end, it's a matter of improvisation. And once you have that, you realize that you are able to do whatever you propose to do, because you know how to adapt to anything. Right?
Correct.
So
yes. It's I always tell people everything in moderation except making money. So just people, whatever vice you have, do it in moderation, and control yourself, because at the end, nobody wants to hang around with a sloppy person. So
no, of course. And after this stage, right now you are on real estate at the moment.
Yes.
So you are.
So I'm currently running a couple different businesses. I'm a co-founder in a fitness company called Punch King Fitness.
Okay.
I also have a staffing company called CalX, which is California Labor Exchange.
Okay.
We provide labor for companies that handle disasters like the big fires that happened here in California.
Okay.
We'll have people that go out there and help do the cleanup. And then my ultimate long game again, and my passion that's going to take me to where I want to be in life, is real estate development. So we're working on I'm working with a couple of groups that are doing some multi-billion-dollar real estate developments.
Okay.
And one here in Silicon Valley in San Jose, and another up north from San Jose. We have a city called Oakland, and Oakland, that's a we got three major cities here in the Bay Area. We got San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose. So the next city that's going under a renaissance is the city of Oakland. So I'm working on one of the major projects up there, and these are all multi-billion-dollar projects that are going to make an impact on the future of a lot of people's lives. So that's when, and so I want to kind of address that. I know people say, Mauricio, you're a billionaire. You talk about this. It's not because I want to have the billions behind my name. The title may sound cool, but for me, really, it's the impact that we can make with the resources we have.
Yeah.
If you're managing a multi-billion-dollar empire, you can make big impacts across globally, right? So that's the passion, because at the end of the day, I'm not taking it with me. As a matter of fact, they asked me the other day, what are you going to do with all those billions that you're going to be,
Yeah.
and I said, I'm going to give it away. They're like, what do you mean you're going to give it away? I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking it with me. I'm going to take care of my family. But at the same time, it's going to be something that's going to be given away. And if you know how to build, how to structure it where it will always continuously generate more money, then it will be something that we can give away. And that's something that I learned from my mentors too. I've learned from billionaire mentors that they say, Mauricio, we are handlers of money. We're caretakers. We're stewards of money. We don't own money. We are caretakers of it. We are here to continuously see it grow and make a positive impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people sometimes forget about the concept of having a private life. I did that mistake, unfortunately. But I learned that, in the end, it's all phases that you have in life, and you miss the side of enjoy yourself, spend time with friends, family, etc. So if you involve also too much in work, you forget about that concept too, which in the end, you won't take it with you. That's the whole concept. So when you work 18, 19 hours a day, what is it for? So that's the big question, right? And when I saw that, I actually started to have dramatic change in my life.
Yeah.
And that's when I really started to enjoy my life, actually.
Good. And that's what my mentors say to me too. I mean, these are older gentlemen. I'm the youngest in the group. I'm 48 years old, which is young in the world that I'm in right now. The next person above me is 10 to 12 years older than me, so that's 60. Yeah. And the people that are there above them are older. So imagine, I'm 12 years. I'm at the age where I'm at right now, where I have this energy, this drive, this knowledge, and I have years ahead of me. I have time in front of me, not a lot of time, but time, because tomorrow's never promised. But what I've done with it is I've learned to manage my time so that I don't invest it into bad things, and trust me, it hasn't been even recently. I went through a lot. I'm currently managing the businesses that we have. I mean, when the economy, or when we have certain people that, like currently our state of the world right now it's almost like the world's upside down again. But that's how you shake the tree and you get things corrected again. People, you course correct, but it has an impact on everything and everyone. And if you don't have the experience, you don't have the knowledge on how to navigate through those pitfalls.
Yeah. It's a matter that you see it coming, so you know how to work around and say, oh, we got to change it like this, or we have to change it like that. So, because it's coming and it's like this or like that. So in the end, it's kind of like, I mean, I always say you don't control the environment, but you can control yourself, and you can control what you can control. And with that, it's enough with the experience to shift and move around. It's what people need to know.
Yeah. No, and those are the facts. I mean, you definitely, life will continuously teach you. You just have to be a student and accepting of it, and then again, just learn to move on. A lot of the stuff that I do too, I love a lot of personal growth. I love to read. I love to feed my mind and watch videos. I like to make sure that I feed my mind with great things that are only going to make me a better person, because that's the energy that I want to give out when I'm sharing my story or making an impact on others. I want them to know that again, if I could do it, you can do it too. And for me, especially the Latino community, I love my people. Soy Latino, soy salvadoreño y español, y me encanta. Yo quiero ayudar a la gente.
Claro que sí. I think it's the most important thing is when you get to that stage of self-learning, let's just say, that that you can help a lot of people with the knowledge you have, and contributing, and this is the way we're both doing it. We are contributing to people, to the world, and knowledging for people to grow, because in the end, that's what it is. I mean, if I can help someone do a shortcut, I mean, in life, there's not really shortcut, but if the people have the knowledge how to kind of shortcut some of situations that can come across in life,
Yeah.
I'm grateful because I know my knowledge will help these people not to go through what I was and to know how to overcome certain impacts that, but for example, you and I went through, and this way they'll not pass it through. So yeah, kind of like that.
So, and I believe that too. So what we do is because of our experience, we give people instead of going through a longer learning curve, we go through a shorter learning curve, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's why mentorship is important. I would not be where I'm at today if I didn't have good people and mentors around me. And at the same time, I'm wanting that, and I desire for that knowledge. So I'm always seeking it. They say what you seek, you will find. What you focus on, you will get. You will reach. The other part, Julio, what I'm going to tell you, and it sounds crazy, but people really need to understand it, is that you have to put your pride down and you have to be able to ask for help.
No, of course.
And un dicho en español, el que no pide no come. In English is, if you don't ask, you don't eat. And
there's a saying, hay un dicho que es que no ten voz, no le garruma, ¿no? Es lo mismo. It's like a saying as translating to English again. If you don't have a mouth to reach Rome, you won't reach there. So in the end, it's kind of like, I mean, it's I mean, when we become what we are, we're not afraid of anything. Anything can happen. We already know how to overcome it. We already know how to cross it. We know how to help other people with similar situations. So, I mean, it's not even about mentorship. I think we become like family, because when you talk with close friends, it's kind of like you feel like you forming a big group already, and we're all family, and that is the sheerest part of how you feel happy with yourself, seeing that you're really helping people in this way, and that's the significant part of life, because that's what life is for. It's for sharing, it's
right.
And some people miss this concept, like we are seeing right now in politics. Let's just say we're not going to go through there, but it's what's happening. Why it has to be this way? You know what I mean? It can be 1,000 different of ways of handling situation and go through, and sometimes we see human beings being like that.
Yeah, I think right now one of the biggest things we need to do as a population in this world is we have to get back to some of our basics of human kindness, humanity.
Yeah.
I think that we lose ourselves and we go through this cycle. I've seen this before, and it's just learning to be kind to others. I mean, and it's a tough one because everyone is going through something. Everyone is going through something.
Yeah.
And those that aren't are lying, or maybe I always tell people the next problem is already coming. It's a matter of just when it arrives to you. But they're coming. It's inevitable. So don't try to dodge it. I mean, it's coming.
Unless you're not doing anything, that's the obvious part. When someone comes, I never had a problem in life. It feels like, have you been on the rain and not get wet? So it's kind of like that.
I love it. Yeah, no, that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Yeah. So, Mauricio, one thing I wanted to ask you, because you are really involved, being in California. How did it affect you, the latest event of the fires? I mean, how was it for you?
Well, the fires, California's been bombarded with fires for many, many years. Just seems that the fires have gotten much more intense because we have to remember the population has also grown. Homes have been built in areas where there wasn't homes before. You got these very populated areas of forestry that are being homes are being built within these areas. So there's a lot of learning that has to happen now, but it's affected our state because Southern California. I mean, they're saying 400 and it's almost like 400 or 40 billion. No, it's $400 billion worth of damage. Amazing. That's a lot of money.
Amazing.
And a lot of wealthy people, a lot of people were impacted by that. And imagine the people that had businesses that now don't have their home, and now their businesses are being affected. I mean, it's such a trickle down effect when tragedy happens. You know, it's just
Yeah.
it is interesting to see what this is going to turn out. But there's also opportunity that comes about. I mean, and there's been a lot of opportunity that has come from this. It's just now, it's just, again, it's life just evolving,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And these natural disasters happen, you know, and when they happen, they create these opportunities for those that see it and have the vision. I mean, I'm a visionary. I'm very, when I see opportunity, I start breaking it down. I start thinking, you know, that everything in life has a solution. You just have to try to figure it out.
For sure, in the real estate, there's a lot to do now. I mean,
Mm,
what you know, this catastrophe took off. I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot going on for sure.
Oh, that has opened up a lot of opportunities, but it's also created its own set of problems, and we have to look at those as well. I mean, right now, the global economy, or what's happening here in the United States with the current political climate, you know, tariffs are not good for the world.
Yeah,
And when you start driving prices of things, I mean, there was a story that just came out here in the Bay Area that the cost of housing to build houses are going to be more because the cost of materials are going to be more. We already have we already have a crisis here where the wages don't hold up to the amount, you know, for what it costs to live here. San Jose is one of the most expensive places to live
right.
in the world, more than
Yeah,
New York, more than any, because
yeah,
we're in our own little bubble. We're like this, Silicon Valley is its own little universe,
yeah,
and it just it pushes out instead of
yeah.
bringing. I mean, it brings a lot of great talent, but it also is its own worst enemy.
And I mean, are they looking at, or you looking at that materials that are stronger to fire?
Yeah,
Because I mean, there's like wood, they're more resistant to fire, you
yeah.
know, things like this.
Yeah, there's technologies that are coming out. I think this is part of the evolution, right?
Yeah,
Necessity is the mother of invention, right? We need, and it creates that mind to think of what can we do better, right? Just like when we used to the original phone, if you remember, it was a big brick. Then it turned into a smaller phone. Then it turned into
it was like a suitcase more, you
right,
know.
right. There was
The first phone, it
and now
was
the
like
phone,
10 kilos. I mean, you had to carry a case, and then the battery of the case would last only like, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes to 1 hour. And if you had like a very long call, it would last like 15, 20 minutes.
yeah,
And the actual phone itself with the size of the whole head, you know, with the big
yeah.
antenna, and
Yeah, yeah, no, it was and then the phone evolved to now, you know, it's more powerful than a computer, and
yeah,
it's in your pocket now. So, just like anything, it evolves and it becomes what it is. And the future, it's only the technology is only going to get stronger. You know,
yeah,
AI is going to become a big part of our lives.
yeah,
There's no way around it. It's here. It's not going anywhere.
yeah.
We just have to adapt. Just like the internet, when the internet started, internet arrived, and we had to learn how to get it started. Everyone thought that once the email was created, that it was going to save money on paper and mail. I'm still printing everything that I do
Yeah, of
because I
course.
still got to keep, you know, records.
Yeah, yeah. In the end, we're talking about AI. So with AI, yes, it's going to be here, and it's going to be forever, and it's going to evolve, and it's going to be even much more optimizing in our lives. But we need to know the limits, how far we want to use it, and how it's going to optimize our lives. It's a matter of helping us, but not doing our work. You know,
Yeah.
some people, I can tell you, have this
Oh yeah.
idea that, ah, do me a letter, do me this, do me that, and how about you? You know, what is in your mind? What is
Yeah.
your vision? What is,
I
you
I think
know,
it's a good use for an assistant,
yeah,
not as you know, you still got to give it the basics,
of course,
and we'll see where that evolves to. And I hope that I'm here long enough to see what the future holds for us. And but for now, I have to be present. I have to live in the now, and and just accept that it's here, and we're gonna have to work with it as we get, as we grow through this
For
journey.
sure, for sure. So, Mauricio, tell us a bit about this, the new exciting thing. You are ambassador of Chamber of Commerce. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, no. So I got a phone call this morning. A good friend of mine, he's in Washington D.C. and very very heavy influencer in D.C. And he called me. He was in the West Wing this morning, and he called and says, "Hey, Mauricio, we're interested. We wanted to know if you would be interested in becoming an ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce for El Salvador
Sure.
in the West Coast. We would be one of the first coast to coast chambers, and a lot of movement, a lot of real estate development is happening in this country. And because I'm in that space, they know where I want to go. So yeah, they reached out to me this morning, and I said absolutely, count me in. And now it's just a matter of going through the process, and I'm excited. I love my country. I love what the president in El Salvador is doing.
Yeah.
And I was there last year for his inauguration. And I believe that, a safe country where people's mindsets, they don't live in fear, will grow and flourish into a great country. So you're witnessing it now, what it does. Now, people don't necessarily agree with his tactics, but sometimes you have to take a heavy hand when there's a lot of disorder for so many years.
Yes.
And then eventually you hope, right? We hope that this person can relinquish the powers to the next generation and not become then a dictator, right? And
I mean, your country had a very huge, significant positive change since this president is there. For people who don't know El Salvador, I know it. I've been there, and the change before and the now, people, it feels like bipolar. It's almost totally, completely different country as it
100%.
is.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of changes and a lot more to come, and a lot of future developments, and I'm looking forward to be a part of that. And not only there, but I'm also working in Mexico, and I'm working in Peru. There's other places that I want to really tap into, but I'm excited about this opportunity. And again, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
So.
Are you planning to do corporate events from the Chamber of Commerce with Mexico, Peru?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The goal is obviously to establish and then start to pull in a population of the Salvadorians into it, and then really seeing what the next steps are going to be. So, but again, that's down the road, and right now I'm focused on the things that are here in front of me today, and but yeah, a lot of great things,
Very nice, very nice. Congratulations for that, also.
Yeah. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm excited. There's a lot that I'm working on. Also too, I have my own podcast on YouTube that I've been developing, and that thing is growing. I mean, we're over 42,000 subscribers right now.
Right.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but 42,000 when it's organic and it takes the time that it takes.
It
is. I'm excited about that. I look forward to having you on my show as well.
For sure.
And talking about what the global economy, the impacts of the global economy, and where you're at, in London. Which, by the way, I've never been, and I'd love to go out there. I've seen it only in the movies, and I would love to do a tour of London and France and all of Europe.
For sure.
I mentioned to you, I'm a Spaniard as well. My family, they're from southern Spain, Murcia. And I've never been to Spain. I want to go to Madrid, Barcelona, Murcia, and then I want to go to Ibiza. Ibiza.
Ibiza, it's a different world, man. It's you need
I want to be a part of that world. So.
Yeah, with your nightlife. When you have the nightlife, it's exactly the same life that you are gonna have there. Yeah, I mean, Madrid is very nice, evolving city for business. Also Barcelona. You have a lot of exciting things around Europe and opportunities coming up. It all depends how it can be evolved, right? Because according the situation how it is with all this geopolitics, this thing happening with Ukraine, and etc. So, I mean, in a way, for the ones who know how to dodge, what's coming and see the vision of the possibilities and know how to dodge the overcome. It's I mean, the next years is going to be very shining and bright. I mean, I can
Yeah,
assure you that. Yeah,
I agree.
sure,
I agree.
sure.
I think we have a great future ahead of us. So I'm excited to see what comes out of all this. And again, I'm very thankful that you had me on your show today. I'm looking forward to seeing what reaction we get. And again, this is my first interview international like this, and very
Sure.
excited to sharing this time with you.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's likewise. It's likewise. It's been a real pleasure talking with you today. I also just on remark as you're on podcast, I did a similar interview in Portuguese
Mm,
with a Brazilian channel that are actually based in Florida. So it was very interesting story. It was
nice.
about UK economy, and we had a conversation in Portuguese. Part of the team was in Brazil, part was in Miami, and we were having the show from Florida. It was really really interesting.
Very cool.
Um, so Mauricio, from all we talked, what else would you like to share that you didn't so far?
I just, but my thing is, I want everyone, all people, to just, have some kindness, human kindness in them. I want everyone to be successful. I want everyone to be happy. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but it's all in our mindset.
Yeah.
I think that when you shift your mindset, and again, trust me, I just come out of a few storms of my own, and sometimes our mind gets clouded because the outside noise gets so loud
Yeah.
in our head that we don't know how to silence that sometimes, and or our feelings get in the way, we get in the way of ourselves. I have a saying that goes like this: it's nothing or no one.
What I also always advise to people when an event happens in life, natural or unnatural, you have to see it with common sense.
Mm, I
Don't
like that.
read the noise because
I like that.
most people take it as really melodramatic, like a very dramatic. Oh my God, what I'm going to do? Well, it's not like that. It's a problem like any other thing that you solved in life. In the end, you just need to face it. Say, what exactly the problem? Where is it? What is what is the actual root of this? And just put on the solution. And always focus on the solution, not on the problem. The problem is there already, so you need to focus on the solution. Once you have the solution in place, the problem disappears. And
That's right.
that's the easy way. I always tell to people to optimize their time and focus and strength and power. So
That's right.
yeah,
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 amen to that. Yeah, no, I agree. I have a saying that goes like this: it's nothing or no one, including myself, will get in the way of my success. Period. And meaning that nothing or no one, like you said, no incident, no nothing, no person, no family member, no nothing, including myself, because we can get in our own way, will
yeah,
get in the way of my ultimate goal of success. I will not allow that. Period. Because my mind is stronger than I have a strong mind, and I
yeah,
will not
yeah,
allow that to
yeah.
penetrate. I'm a fighter all the way. I tell people say you're beast mode. I said no, I'm monster mode. Monster to me is like bigger than beast.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
So before we finish the conversation today, Mauricio, I always ask my guests to say a power message. So,
Hmm.
what will be your power message today?
Whew, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it's listen. I have not allowed life challenges to get in the way of where I want to be. My dream is much bigger than the problem, any problem in the universe that can come my way. My dream, my goals, my drive, and my will to never give up. Never give up. I mean, that's one of the biggest things is people give up on their dreams,
Yeah,
and when they
yeah,
give up, when they give up on their dreams, they lose that fire, that flame inside of them. They some people unfortunately they don't have the strength and they take themselves out. That is not an exception in this world. Everything in this world has a solution. Period.
yeah,
So for those of you that one moment you think that you're down and out and the life is over, no. What you need to do is get yourself in a quiet space, and think it out and really think of what your ultimate dream is. Now, the flip side is that some people don't have dreams, some people don't have drive, some people don't have, and that's okay, because not everybody is the same, and it's just you can have people that have had the greatest upbringing and have no drive, or the greatest upbringing and they have drive, or the people that have nothing, grew up with nothing and have the biggest drive. Yeah. And the same for that is they have nothing and they have no drive. So there is no secret formula.
No.
I always tell people, it's just, how bad do you want it, and are you willing to put in the work? Because nothing is possible without doing the work. You have to do the work, period. No work, no results.
Yeah. And with that, everyone will get what is the actual secret. Do the work.
That's it.
That's what it is.
If anything, the secret is do the work.
Yeah, of course. I mean, people sometimes ask him, you think life, so happy, so seamless, what is the secret? There's no secret, man. It's do all the work. The thing is, I do all the work with humor. That's why I'm always happy. And that's the way everyone has to be, For example, I had moments of getting in an office with all the team and screaming, "Good morning, everyone. How we all doing?" And all that. And even some people even start laughing, and they were on the phone. What does that create? A huge positive impact of starting the morning. Everyone gets happier. They get cheerful, and the enjoyment of working like that. Yeah. The optimization of work is 200%.
I don't want to be around anything that's negative, any negative energy, any negative person. I walk away from that energy because I am not that person. I understand that we have bad days, but if I have a bad day, I'm going to try to keep it in my own little space, because I don't want it to be contagious, right? I don't want to impact another person because of my bad day. I just want to deal with it and move on. And I think that's one of the things that people really need to do out there is really deal with the problem, face it forward, and don't avoid it, because the problem is not going anywhere until you resolve it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still going to be there. And some people sometimes even think, drinking or doing this or doing that, they're going to solve everything. All you do is taking the problem longer, and the next day you're going to wake up in a worse situation, and the problem's still there.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere. So, and that was part of where, when I decided that I wanted to retire from nightlife, is because after 25 years, I realized I was, it's interesting to say this, but I was an enabler of bad behavior, and of course, good behavior. But I was in an environment where I created a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of fantasies, illusions. Yeah. But it was fun. But eventually, we all have to grow up and we have to deal with life. And if you don't deal with it, you'll continue to repeat that cycle over and over.
You cannot be all life being partying or enjoying like that until 8 or 9 in the morning every day until you are 50 or 60. It's not possible. That's not
the sad part about it is that there's still people that are doing that, and that's just because they're living in their own illusion of whatever it may be, and that's okay. That's okay. That's just not where I'm at. And right now, I just want to be around great people that are doing great things, where no one is impacted in a negative way, and just keep moving forward.
Absolutely. Mauricio, it was a tremendous pleasure to have you on the show today. It was really insightful conversation. I'm pretty sure it was a big light for many people who hear this program today. And thank you for being here, and thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. And for sure, I will go to your show whenever you tell me to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. And thank you to all your audience, everyone that's out there around the world. I look forward to getting feedback, and people can reach out. If they want to reach out to me, they can look me up on Instagram, Mauricio Mejia, on Facebook, LinkedIn. Yeah, I always tell people, if you want to find me, just put Mauricio Mejia, San Jose, California, and you'll find everything about me. So even my phone number is up there. So.
Absolutely. Mauricio, thank you so much. That was it for today. Look it up for the next episode. Thank you all. Thank you.